Hello everybody and welcome back to FTB OceanBlock, and in this episode, oh boy, we dive deep into mechanism generators, sodium cooling our fission reactor, and we also almost have a close call of the thing going super critical, so I hope you enjoy. Okay, so today we're going to be upgrading our setup right here. Now, there's a couple of things I've done since last episode, and it has improved our rate of producing nuclear waste from our fission reactors, but it's nowhere near enough. If I wanted to start making our super critical phase shifter, it's impossible right now because, one, we don't have enough stuff, and two, it'll take way too long to actually generate enough nuclear waste to make enough polonium and plutonium. So we're going to upgrade this setup right here. We're going to do away with all the pumps here, and we're going to do a closed loop setup. Now, for what that means, I have no idea. I have never done this before, and I'm only going based off what I saw in a video, so hopefully I can do this correctly. If not, we're going to have a bit of an issue. So what I want to do is I want to set up sodium cooling for these fission reactors. Apparently that's the best cooling for these guys. So you fill it with sodium and you pump that out into a boiler, and then a boiler uses the superheated sodium from the reactor to boil water into steam, and as it boils the water into steam, it cools the sodium and then allows you to pump that cooled sodium back into the reactor in a loop, and then that water that turns to steam gets pumped out into a turbine, and then from the turbine it condenses back from steam into water, and then you pump that back into the boiler to be reboiled. So it's a three-way kind of like setup right here. So I'm kind of thinking of doing this in a certain way that kind of maximizes our use of space here. The plan was to put the SPS casing right here in the middle. But if we're going to be making a boiler to use our sodium cool these guys, we won't have enough room to put the supercritical phase shifter in the middle here. Because I'm going to put a boiler here and another boiler there. I'm going to put a turbine, if I can, squeeze it back here. And then I'm going to put two evaporation towers here and here to make brine, which is needed to make the sodium. Sodium requires brine. Brine is made in the thermal evaporation tower. So we'll be setting this up. So, I want to set up some crafting patterns first. So, I want to auto-craft these advanced solar panels because these are a pain to make because of how complex they are. Well, they're not that complex, it's just annoying to make. So, stick these in here. That's the solar panels done. And then we're going to need rotational bearings. They probably could be done by hand, but whatever. These guys, rotor turbines, I can make those by hand. This guy, I want to make this automated because steel casing. Let's see, I need patterns. So you and boiler, valve, boiler casing, that's all easy enough. Valve vents, I might as well set that up to auto-crafted. These guys are just steel and osmium. And I think that's pretty much it. Alright, that'll do. So, I want to kind of do this quickly because I don't want to be sitting here all day trying to set this up. So let's teleport back over here and start by setting up the evaporation tower. That's just a combination of steel and copper. We're going to need a couple of valves, so I just chuck that in there. And we're going to need one valve for input of water, one valve for output of brine, and another valve for input of heat in case we want to make this thing go a lot quicker. We're also going to now need some buckets. I don't know why all my buckets keep running out. I guess it's something to do with the cows. Thermal evaporation controllers. We're just going to need 2 of them. And now we're going to need 8 advanced solar generators. So solar generators, we're going to need a total of 8 because we need 4 for each tower. Apparently, I don't have glass panes set up as a crafting recipe, so I'll just hand make those for a moment. All right, that should be enough. 3.4K glass panels. Solar. We'll just start off with the 4. Just make the 4 for now, and that'll do. I guess I have to wait for the alloy to make. So let's start from here. I don't want to connect into that, but I definitely need to access that water. So if I say put the thermal evaporation tower like this, and if I just get out my wand here, it'll be easier to build it then. And I don't know how tall I want to go. Would this be tall enough? I mean, if I have it going really quickly, I won't have to necessarily worry about the height of it. It's just the higher it is, the more it stores. Put the controller in, we can see it is a height of 15. So let's go with a height of 16. Should be able to put 4 or 12 along... 12? No, 8. Yeah, 8 on the top here. That should also count, because now here on the corners here, we can put our solar panels. Have they made yet? Yes, they have. So 4 solar panels. They can go on the sides, like, or the top corners like that. And this will make this thing go quicker. And now the power these guys generate from the sun during the day, we can pump that into a resistive heater to generate extra heat to make this thing run a little bit quicker. So the valves. On the back here, we said we're going to input water. So water is going to go there. We can do the heat beside it, because why not? And then on the back here, we're going to have our brine pump out. Yes, so we'll have that pump into some sort of tank. Actually, let's get a drum. So let's make ourselves like a really good drum here. So an unstable drum should be more than enough to be able to keep up with our brine production. So let's go back to that mechanism and get out all the cables we need. Oh, I hit caps lock, but whatever. So universal cable, yes. Pressurized tube, no. Mechanical pipe, yes. And our configurator. There we are. So fluid's going to come out of there. Set this guy up to extract. Fluid is going to come out of here like this. Hopefully this pump will be able to keep up. No, it's not. Meaning we're not going to be able to produce enough oxygen. But, I mean, with all the pumps that we have right there, I'll repurpose those to suck water in to keep this guy filled. I mean, once this guy is full, it should be okay. It's just that this guy can hold a lot of water. And right now, we've already got about 2.5 buckets of brine. So to make this thing go faster, let me just show you to the heater. So resistive heater, we'll just make one of those. And if we stick this guy on the back right around here, and then we get our universal cable and run this up. And now we just need to loop it around to connect to all the solar panels. There we go. And now we can be able to check how much power these guys are generating. Right now, they're not outputting anything because, of course, it is nighttime. So let me just quickly go home and sleep. Right, now that it's daytime, it'll probably take a bit of time for these guys to get up to maximum power. But we can see that they are currently generating 90 FE. And if we times that number that this thing is generating by 4, we can tell the resistive heater to input that much. The only thing we need now is the thermo pipes. So thermo pipes, we just need a few of them. So we don't need any, like a crazy amount of them. All out of alloy. Damn, this is annoying, always running out of alloy. So the thermodynamic conductor, stick this here. And now these guys should be roughly around the maximum. 117. Yeah, okay. So we do 117 times 4. It's around 468. So with that number then, we can come down here and we just put in the number 460. That means it'll use 460. It's adding an extra 180, 190, slowing down now, about 200 degrees into this evaporation tower, which would then cause this thing, you can see the temperature rising up like a lot. And now you can see we're producing 300 millibuckets per tick, which is pumping into this guy right here. You can see we're making lots of buckets really quickly. Now this also might be draining out the pipes here, causing this thing to empty out now as well. So yeah, because these guys aren't turned on right now, we don't actually have to worry about that. It just means this fuel production might slow down a bit. But the fact that this cable's filled, I doubt it. So all we have to do now is get another electrolytic separator, start separating out this into sodium and chlorine, I think it is, and then use the sodium and start filling these reactors. The only thing is I need to empty these reactors now, and I don't know if breaking this reactor will cause its fissile fuel to cause radiation. I should probably look it up and see, is this actually radioactive? Let me just double check. Okay, from what I can see, technically, this is not radioreactive. So if I break this pipe, it shouldn't cause any issues. I'm praying. Are we good? Oh my god, okay, we're good, we're good. The only thing is I cannot break this pipe or these barrels. But I can break the pipe since it's empty. So as long as I don't break the barrels, I can break the pipes. Okay, that's good. And I can break the reactor and you are still full. But it just means now I can add on ports and move things around. Okay, that was what I was worried about. But the only thing is now getting rid of all the water inside. That's what I don't want now. I don't want the water. So let's see if I can just turn on the magnet and just remove all of these guys now. And I'm going to turn the reactor on just to use up the water. It's a 0.1. But I can't break it if it actually is filled with the fuel, or the waste. So I'm going to have to get rid of the waste first. So pressurized pipe and just empty it out quickly. Okay, I didn't want to empty the reactors completely because I didn't want it to like overheat if there was absolutely no water. Like in case it just flew to 100 instantly, I didn't want to risk it exploding. So what I've done is just left about 500k water in each, and then as soon as we hook up the sodium to it, hopefully we can just turn it on and have the sodium insta-put in once the water is completely drained out. Or maybe I could just rotate one of these, maybe output, and then just pull out the fuel. I don't know. But what I've done over here is I've hooked up a few more of these pipes or pumps, and that's keeping up with our water production now. So this guy is, well, it's nighttime, so he's not making that much at the moment, but we got about 90 buckets in here. So we've got quite a lot to work with. So I was going ahead and I made myself all the turbine casing we're going to kind of need. Now, does turbine work with industrial glass then as well? I think it's called structural glass. So this says, oops, this says it works with any structure. So I'm going to assume that it just works anyway. So if I just grab out a couple stacks of it, and let's set up our turbine right here. I'm thinking of going with the same size as this guy, or even just a 5x5. Hopefully that would be more than enough to keep up with this, but I think I'm better off going similar size to this thing. So if I have a 1 block gap and go out 3 this way, this should be roughly the same size. So 3, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. It almost fits in here perfectly. So yeah, okay, I have to do this size. It looks right. And I'm just going to, actually, I'll do glass on all sides except for the back sides here. I think it also has to be up the side here then as well. So give me out my wand, and I should be able to build up the walls here. And I don't know how tall I'm going to make this now, because there has to be a certain height, and then there has to be pressure dispensers and stuff. So at mechanism, we need these electromagnetic coils. I might actually have to look up a picture because it's been a hot minute since I made one of these. So turbine vents. Well, I definitely need a bunch of those. So let's make a couple of them. Turbine vents. Now, you know what? I'm going to quickly look up an image because I'm not entirely sure if I'm building this thing correctly. Okay, the image I'm looking at here is a 7x7x10. So this we already know is 7. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10. So this will be the max size of the inside of it then. Okay, that's grand. Hopefully this 7x7 one will be more than enough. But what I saw is you go up about like 5 in the center. So I need my turbine stuff now. So turbine blades and rotors. And I think you then get your pressure dispersers. Did I make any of them? I made the vent, but I never made the pressure dispersers. So let's make a stack of them, and we're going to run these all across the inside, not touching the not in the outside wall, like so. And then I think you just get yourself electromagnetic coils, and then run them across like this. Not here, unless the whole thing needs to be filled with them. You know what? It probably does. Let me just fill the entire top with the coils. Like that. And then you get your turbine vents. And you add the vents on like this. From what I can see in the picture. And I need to do the same here. So I need to remove this part of the wall. Okay. And then I don't believe any block is required at the bottom. I think now I just bring up the turbine rotor from the center here. And wait, I think there actually is need to be something there. I think a rotational complex. Let's see, rotational. Yeah, rotation complex. I believe this actually goes in the center here. And if I've done this correctly, the whole turbine should build once I'm done. And it says in the wiki that you can use structural glass. So I'm going to try it. Give me red particles. Yes, okay, so this did work. So the turbine is definitely set up correctly. So the only thing is now we're going to have a side for output of power, which I'm going to stick on the back here. And I believe this just works with the turbine output. So turbine valve, I believe this works with power as well. So stick you here. And I don't think I need to use any sort of like configurator like this guy to change the mode. I think he just works. And if I'm putting the boiler here, I'm technically going to be breaking the front here and pumping the sodium, superheated sodium out and then back in. So I'm going to need another 2 valves, replace the one at the back here. So get rid of that and put it on the front here. One here and one here. And then we'll have the water pump in here and then the water back out, or the steam go out, then the water back in. So if I break these 2 ports like that, and now grab our fission reactor ports, I should be able to break it here and here to the back and remove this guy. Did I not pick up the... Okay. Oh, it's glass I picked up, not the actual casing. So I should be able to put the 2 of these here, grab our configurator, and yes. One, actually, yeah, we're going to be removing this port now back here now as well. So this guy is going to be output of coolant. This guy is going to be input of coolant. This guy is going to be output of waste. And because of that, actually, I can move the waste output to here. Like so. And that should do it. Right. Now it's to build the boiler. Now, I don't think I've ever built this boiler before, so we're about to learn how it's done. So boiler, I did make myself a lot of stuff for it already. So boiler casing, boiler valves. I might actually have to look up a quick picture of this guy as well. But I'm pretty sure I can get away with another 7x7. So 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. And same size as this guy. I should be able to get away with it. Okay, supposedly now I just grab myself superheating elements. Superheating elements just make me a whole stack of them. And I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, but apparently I can just put them in here at the bottom. I don't even know if this is going to be good or if this is bad. And I think I can use structural glass now to make this thing work as well. So just make me a couple more stacks of structural glass. Because I want to see the water inside this thing. Oh, I hope this works. I'm not wasting my time here. And can I just cover the top in? I don't know how to steam or the pressure dispersers. Do I just add it in as a layer on the inside? Yeah, that didn't work. Now, it's either because I don't have any valves on it. So let's just try adding a few valves to see if that works. Nothing yet. It must need the pressure dispersers. Was it pressure dispersers? I think so. Pressure dispersers. Let's add a row of these across the top here. Let me just see if this does anything. No. Right, let me just quickly look up something else to see if I can figure this out. Oh, apparently I just need to put the pressure dispersers inside, not on the outer edge. Oh yeah, it's the same way as the turbine, duh. But anyway, inside it now you can see we got a heated coolant tank, a water tank, we've got a max boil rate, steam tank, and then a coolant tank. So our superheated will boil the water, and the water will build up steam. The steam will be pumped out into the turbine and pumped back into here, and the superheated coolant will come back into regular coolant, pumped back into the fission reactor. Oh, I hope this works now. So, all we have to do now is start filling this guy up with sodium. Or no, this guy up with sodium. So, pressurized pipes. We need to start connecting all these now. So, configurator. We need to put a pipe here. Oh, I didn't line these guys up correctly. Let me just move this. You go here. There we go. So, you are coolant output. So, you're going to go out. And this is valve to output coolant, input only. Yes, you're going to output coolant, input. You're going to output coolant, input coolant. Like so. Over here, then, the same thing. You are going to output steam. Like that. And this guy is going to input water. Actually, if I'm going to be using water, that means I should not be using... I should be using mechanical pipes, not pressurized pipes. Hang on a second here. Remove this. There we go. So you should actually be coming out with water like so. Why aren't you connected? Am I missing something? Am I supposed to use a different pipe? Or a different valve? Why are you not... connecting? Okay, after a little bit of research, rewatching another video, it turns out water comes out of the vents. I did not know that. So hopefully the water that gets built up from the condensing of the steam will be enough to pump back into here, and everything should be working as it should be. So just making sure coolant comes out of you, into you, you boil water, turn into steam using the coolant, whatever. Right. All we have to do now is fill this entire reactor with sodium. So let's see if we can do that now. Because I have to do the same thing over on that reactor now as well. But I won't bore you with redoing this all again. I'll just work on it. But once we get this working, we know it's sustained, and this guy will do the same. Oh, we should be able to produce so much nuclear waste then. So, Electrolytic Separator. Should actually have one, I believe. Separator, I guess not. Electrolytic separator, and we're just going to stick it here for now, like that. And now we're going to configure the side so no items, gases. We're going to output the, I think sodium comes out as dark blue, and we're just going to dump the chlorine. All right, so point, just going to need to power it, and now we're going to need an ender tank. So ender tank, do we have an ender tank using the color yellow yet? I don't believe so. If that's the case, we can just go ahead and use that. Like a couple stacks of yellow dye. Actually, I realize I'm going to need 2 ender tanks now with more yellow dye. So you should be able to go here and change this to yellow. And is anything in this tank? No, apparently not. So I should be able to come over here, put this guy here, change it to yellow, put the mechanical pipe there, grab out my configurator, set this up to extract. Fill it with soda or brine. This guy over here now will just extract out the brine. You will start making sodium and chlorine. Just give it power. And now I just need upgrades. Like so. And now you're filled with sodium. Now hopefully with the pressurized pipe. And it is set to be this pipe. I should be able to fill this entire thing with sodium. So I'm just going to leave a bit build up in the pipes here. Now, the only thing is this guy's actually going to output out the steam. I don't want it to, so I'm going to disconnect this pipe for just a moment. We're going to turn this on, let it build down, use up all the water. Hopefully this works now and it doesn't cause any issues. See, it's dropping now. You're ready to scram. Just in case. This should insta-put in, so... Oh, please don't break. Water nearly gone. Okay, you can see now it's starting to fill with sodium. And the heated coolant steam will just dump that. And this guy has nothing in him at the moment. Okay, I just need to leave this thing filled with sodium. Why is not much going in? Is it going in or am I just not seeing the right number? Steam, waste. Is it not going in because... Oh no, now the sodium's building up. Okay, good. We're good. Okay, we are working. All we have to do now is just leave this thing completely fill up. And I also need to fill this entire thermoelectric boiler with water now as well. Okay, so it's been a while. This thing took absolutely forever to fill. I ended up building this entire setup for the second reactor and another evaporation tower. And it's still not able to keep up. Like, I have been... How long have I been running this thing? At least like 6 hours to fill this up. Now, this might sound like an exaggeration, but it isn't. It has been running for nearly 6 hours. But anyway, it's about time we turn the thing on and see how it works. So, I need to grab another pressurized pipe because I need to be able to pump out the cooling now. So, pressurized pipe go there, get myself my configurator. And hopefully now, this says coolant out. So hopefully now, when I turn this on, it'll use up the sodium, turn it into high sodium and the nuclear waste. I don't actually have a way for that pumping out just yet. Let me just remove these pressurized pipes and add these guys on. Ooh, my frame rate is starting to lag a bit here now. Make sure there's nothing in the pipe. And set you up to extract. Right, so hopefully this now works. So you're to extract the waste, dump it in these barrels. Now these barrels are kind of full at the moment, so let me just grab out another few waste barrels. Just add them onto the end here. Right, let's turn it on. Hopefully everything seems to be right. Water, no heated coolant, nothing yet. Oh, you can see the inside's definitely turned orange. Oh, you can see now it's boiling water. The turbine is slowly starting to fill with steam. And the water here is going down. Now, hopefully, I'm hoping this will reach like an equilibrium where it will stop pumping water out and generate enough steam to reset it. Now, I think I've set dumping excess at the moment, but hopefully that doesn't... Okay, I hope we're producing enough water here. I mean, as long as we have the heated coolant going back out into this guy, I don't think it really matters. By the looks of it, everything seems to be running okay. Let's turn it up to a burn rate of 1. Ooh, okay, this guy is losing water way too fast, and this turbine isn't outputting the water fast enough. Why is that now? What issues are we running into here? Let me turn off the evaporation towers for the moment and just let it pump into there. So that should be filling back up with water. Turn this back on. Superheated coolant is going in, which is okay. And this isn't changing. This isn't changing. This is starting to speed up a bit. But as long as the water doesn't change, we should be okay. You can see we're not building any more steam. And we're only generating... It doesn't really say exactly how much. But you can see the water levels going down. Now, I hope this thing is going to reach a certain point before it runs out of water. Because I believe this guy is going to run out of coolant if this guy runs out of water. I feel like I'm losing water out of somewhere, though. I feel like we should be gaining water, not losing it. See, that's going to build up. You're going to be okay. And you're just going to start filling with steam. Now, it could be I could just use my wand and just speed up the pumps. Because you can see I added more pumps here. They're full of water. This guy's not full of water. This pipe... Is this guy glitched? I don't know. I think it's just due to the pipe's capacity. Like, we're only outputting... Unless I add more mechanical pipes to export. What if I do this? Now we're still only exporting 16 buckets. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to grab myself a pipe from Easy Pipes and use the ultimate pipe upgrade, which uses 64 buckets. Because I believe that these pipes here have been, like, nerfed. Because I remember them transferring, like, 64 buckets before. you're going to extract out of there. And you're going to get an ultimate pipe upgrade and another ultimate pipe upgrade. And you're going to extract water out there. But according to this tank, there's no water in it. So something's not right here. Okay, when did that jump to 38? I literally just put those down. How did that thing... Oh, that could have been bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Wait. Oh god. We have an issue. This thing is about to go critical. All because this guy is not pumping out enough coolant. I'm hoping if I put this back down... We halted it. Oh, God. Okay, it's going down. Oh, Jesus, that could have been so bad. We're okay. We're okay. Water is our problem. How do we solve... Like, the thing says they're full of water, but there's no water going in. Why? Did I have to do that? No idea. I do not know what's going on. At least we saved it. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can fix this water issue and see if we can get this thing running somewhat self-sustained. Okay, I think I might have it figured out. Apparently there's a step I missed early on when making the turbine. I forgot that there was a saturating condenser. Yeah, and all the wiki things I saw, I did not see this. Either I overlooked it or I didn't notice it. But apparently now, because of this, it is turning all the water output, 1.6 millibuckets of water, meaning all the steam comes out the exact same rate of water. So if there is 600,000 steam going in, there'll be 600,000 water going in. And from what I can see, it is stable. Like, I even ran the long pipe over to bypass the ender tanks because that didn't seem to be working. And water level's not dropping. And this thing's back down to 14%. So we're going to start throwing random numbers at it to see what happens. Hoping we don't blow this thing up. As long as this thing keeps up with the water, as long as this thing's full of water, everything should be okay. That's what I'm praying for. So we even have an output of 5 mil buckets. I need to make sure this thing isn't completely filled. And we're good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, the only thing is I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side and wait like the 6 hours for this thing to fill up. But hopefully it won't take that long since there is already like 17 mil in this guy. I just need double that at the moment. And then we can get this guy up and running. I need to do the same. You can see I actually brought it 1 block taller to fit the saturating condensers in, but it works now. That's all I'm happy about. And our max burn rate is 36. I'm going to YOLO 10. Get ready to scram in case something happens. As long as the coolant doesn't drop, that's good. You're still full of steam. And your pipes are good. I think we're good. And now we're outputting 300,000 FE out of the turbine. That is not bad at all. And as long as this thing isn't dropping, it should be going up, in all fairness. Well, it's not going to go up right now because there's no brine being pumped out. But I think that's it. I think this thing is fully sustained and it's a big closed loop and we won't have to worry about the thing exploding. I hope. And we're down to 0%. Perfect. So I'm going to end it there. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Hope to see you on the next episode. So without further ado, goodbye.